And the wagon wheel was back at Dick's Stadium. Could the Flashes walk out victorious?
It was the last week of regular season for high school football, and Hoban took on St. Ed's. I've got the highlights coming up.
And Cavs basketball is back at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. We'll break down the home opener and much more on Sports Corner, which starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Sports Corner. I'm Matt Mergen.
And I'm Liv Sharp. The Kent State football team battled Akron for the wagon wheel.
And Mara O'Malley has the highlights.
The Kent State football team worked hard to keep the wagon wheel in Kent for the 4th year in a row. Here's how the Golden Flashes looked against Akron University on Saturday. The Golden Flashes come running out full of energy, ready to put on a fight to keep the wagon wheel. The momentum is snatched away when Akron's DJ Irons throws a long pass to number 7, Alex Adams. To get the game started, Akron Zips go up 7-0 early in the game. Kent's defense provides when DJ Irons throws an interception. Kent takes that for a short run to get that crowd going again and try to gain some of that momentum back at Dick's Stadium. Kent's defense, the Golden Flashes keep it going though. Devin Cargman hands it off to Brian Bradford, who takes it for a long 58-yard run for the Flashes touchdown. It's now all tied up at Dick's Stadium in the first quarter early in the game. Cargman again in the pocket with a long pass to number 81, Devontae Walker, for another Kent State touchdown, putting the Golden Flashes up in the second quarter of the game. Akron's offense won't back down though. Kent's defense tries to stop and hold them, but Irons fights for those 5 yards to get an Akron Zips touchdown. A dynamic duo out there. Cargman finds Walker again with a short 10-yard pass for another Golden Flash touchdown, and this puts Kent up 21-17. Kent with a little trick play here. Cargman hands it off to Devontae Walker, who runs it in for 14 yards for another Golden Flashes touchdown, making it 27-17. Akron putting Kent's defense to the test. Irons won't back down. He runs it in for a Zips Akron touchdown. The Golden Flashes won't give up though. Zion West with a sack, and he takes down DJ Irons in the fourth quarter to end the game. And with that, the Flashes work hard and take down the Zips with a final score of 33-27, keeping that wagon wheel in Kent for the 4th year in a row. The Kent State football team will be getting ready this week for MAC action on Tuesday night, and here is what Coach Lewis had to say about the game.
How about them Golden Flashes? 4 in a row, wheel stays at home. Guys stepping up all over the place, showing the character and resolve of our program and our culture. Guys not flinching with a slow start, responding in all 3 phases. It's everything we talk about every single day. You know, in the face of adversity with a lot of good players down, a lot of other good players stepped up. They carried their water at an exceptional level in a big-time rivalry game, in a big-time environment, when the stakes were at its highest. Kent State and this football team responded the right way. I'm very, very proud of them. Very, very happy to lead them. Very, very excited for these kids to have that wheel and be celebrating the right way, and be going into a 10-day bye to get healthy and to finish this thing off the right way, and to continue to stay the course here as we go. It's huge, right? I mean, we talked about it earlier in the week. When it comes to our football goals, it's the #1 football goal each and every single year. And there's a lot of people that can say a lot of different things, but in between those white lines, for the past 4 years, there's one team that runs Northeast Ohio. We continue to run Northeast Ohio. The wheel stays here, it stays in the right colors. We're going to put another placard up the right way. And for 4 straight years, over 1,100 days, the wheel's here, and no one else gets to touch besides the people of the Kent State Golden Flashes.
Definitely a great one. We love the energy from the fans, and we're just glad to have it for a 4th time. Hasn't been done in a while, so that was just a big thing for our team and for this character going forward. But just pushing through, keep executing. It was a big emphasis this week. We knew there was a big pass team, so we had to definitely just stop the QB run. And then when we had to pressure them, had to affect them often and early. And then Coach challenged us. He said, "Go get 2 sacks." Set the tone. So I did my job, executed, and then the second one he schemed up a great play. He did my job again, and then there it was.
He just put his trust in me. The guy who do everything out there. So coaches call on him to be there for him, make plays for the family. For the games, keep Devin his confidence up. Keep him calm out there. not always there by his side, but on the receiver side to be there for him.
Like we said, the Flashes went home victorious, beating Akron 33-27. Irons had a great game, 383 yards, kind of on the downside, 2 interceptions. Price had 41 yards. Adams had 199 yards. He had 1 touchdown. Devin Kargman in his first collegiate start, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad day for him. Cooper, 137 yards, and Walker, 72 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And then we got the MAC football scores. Buffalo 34 to Toledo 27. Bowling Green 34. Central Michigan with 18. Eastern Michigan, they win a close one, 20-16 over Ball State. Ohio 24, another close game. Northern Illinois 17. And then Western Michigan 16 over Miami's 10.
Taking a look at the MAC East standings as of today, things got shaken around a little bit this past weekend. Buffalo still number 1, still undefeated, 4-0 in conference play. Ohio and Bowling Green are now tied for second with a 3-1 record. Kent State hanging in that 4th spot, 2-2. Miami is 1-3, and Akron has yet to win a game in conference play. They are 0-4. All right, Mara, now being at that game on Saturday night, what was the energy like at Dick Stadium? How badly did Kent want this win?
It was clear from the start that Kent was going to fight till the very end to win that game. They had so much passion and drive, and they were not going to give up. At first, it was looking a little rough for us with a couple of our starters being out, but the team very clearly rallied around each other to keep the wagon wheel here in Kent for another year.
And Mara, like you said, some of the starters were out for Kent's biggest game. How do you feel Devin Kargman did going in for Colin Schlee?
Kargman did an exceptional job. He was going in for this rival game. He completed 14 out of 25 passes for 215 yards, with both of his touchdowns going to Devontae Walker. With Kargman being a first-time freshman starter, he worked extremely hard to be there for his team when Schlee went down. The team was there to make sure he felt comfortable on that field, and they put their trust in him, and he provided.
Now, with that win, they move on to face Ball State. And how do you think the rest of the season is going to look for the Golden Flashes?
We beat them last year, and I truly believe we can do it again. This team is starting to find exactly what does and doesn't work for them. They had a difficult schedule in the beginning, but with the offense and defense working together like they did on Saturday, the Golden Flashes had the potential to get very far this season. Hopefully, with them getting a few extra days since their next game is on Tuesday night, everyone will return healthy and ready to play.
And thank you, Mara. The Kent State women's volleyball team suffered 3 more losses this past week as they lost to Ohio and were swept by Buffalo. The Flashes were able to push the Bobcats to 5 sets, but ultimately lost 3 sets to 2 on Tuesday. Buffalo won both of their series against the Flashes, 3 sets to none on Thursday and Friday. Kent State falls to 12-10 on the season and will face Northern Illinois on Friday at 6 p.m. and Western Michigan on Saturday at 4 p.m., with both games being played at the MAC.
The Flashes soccer team took home 2 tied games this week as they tied 0-0 with Northern Illinois at home on Thursday, and yesterday they tied with Central Michigan 2-2 on the road. With the Flashes down 2-0 at the end of the first half to the Chippewas, redshirt senior Tiana Harris took over the game and netted her 2nd and 3rd goals of the season for the Flashes. The Flashes now have a record of 4, 6, and 7 and will face the Buffalo Bulls on Thursday for their final home game, with the MAC quarterfinals beginning on Sunday.
And the Flashes field hockey team went 1-1 last week as the Flashes defeated Longwood University 3-2 in double overtime and suffered a loss of the University of Virginia by a final of 3-0 on Friday. The Flashes got goals from Katie Whistle and Solar Camber and a game-winning goal from Jenna McCrudden. And the Flashes are now 7-8 on the season and will play Bellarmine on Friday at home for their final home game and will travel to East Lansing to take on Michigan State on Sunday.
The Flashes hockey team dropped their opening game of conference play against Duquesne by a final score of 9-5 in Pittsburgh yesterday. The Flashes heavily outshot the Dukes, but the goaltending struggled throughout the game. Tommy Killaway notched a hat trick, and Jacob Friedman scored in what was his 100th career game. Zach Zaworki and Joey Gallo added the other tallies for the Flashes. Kent State is back in action November 4th, where they will host Mercyhurst at the Kent State Ice Arena. Puck drop is at 7.
And the Kent State golf team traveled to Wilmington, North Carolina to compete in the Williams Cup. In the Flashes, they finished in 7th, led by senior Chris Vendetti, who placed 14th, and sophomore Jordan Gilkinson and freshman Ben McLean, who each finished in the top 25. After finishing in the bottom half of their last 2 fall events, the Flashes will take a 4-month break in hopes to return to more consistent performances before returning to action at the Mobile Bay Intercollegiate in Alabama on February 13th. And Hoban and St. Ed's clashed at First Federal Lakewood Stadium on Friday. We will have the extended highlights when we come back.
Name.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Thanks for sticking with us. Hoban and St. Ed's faced off in Lakewood in the last regular season game of high school football. Let's go. St. Eagles of St. Ed's are taking on the Knights of Archbishop Hoban. Let's start things off here. We have got Casey Bullock. He's going to take the snap. He'll fake the handoff here. A little bit of a trick play. He's just going to run straight up the middle, and he's going to take it into the end zone himself. St. Ed's will take a 7-0 lead. Hoban, they're going to be looking to answer here. TV2 favorite Lamar Sperling. He's going to get the handoff, and he's going to run into a block. So he turns and he hauls tail the other way. This kid is crazy. He runs out to the sideline and makes it all the way to the end zone. Sperling is an absolute beast. He made that 18-yard run look easy. The Knights will be back on offense. QB, Jakai Long. He's going to take the snap here. It's going to be a messy exchange with Sperling. That's going to end up in a fumble. And St. Ed's, they're going to get the ball back at their own 30-yard line. The Eagles in the red zone. Bullock, he's going to hand it off to Marvin Bell. And Bell will just put his head down, keep those legs turning, and make it into the end zone as St. Ed's will extend their lead over the Knights. But it would not be a silent night for Hoban, of course. Long is going to hand it off to, who else? Lamar Sperling. And he's going to dash out to the left and just outrun the Ed's defenders and take it to the house. Hoban's trying to fight back, but we're going to head back to St. Ed's here on this possession. Bullock is going to hand it off to Marvin Bell. And watch out, he is off to the races. He will take off running, and no one can catch up to him. He goes 54 yards all the way to the end zone. My God, he looks like a young Nick Chubb with this run. Look at him go. Bell wasn't the only one with big runs. Bullock will send a dot to Brian Sullivan, and talk about yak yards after carry. He will dodge a tackle and run all the way to the sideline and into the end zone to bring the score to 35-13. Hoban, they want to get back in this game. Long is going to use his killer arm, send this laser out to Peyton Cook, who just falls back into the end zone, and the Eagles make this a 2-score game. There is no quit in this team. Back on offense. Long will send this one deep, and it will fall straight into the hands of Bradley Eaton and the Eagles defense. Eaton is going to round the corner, and he is off. Eaton, he's going to break a tackle here, and with the help from the rest of the Eagles defense, he is off till he finally gets wrestled down. That will set up the Eagles at the goal line here. Long will go to old reliable Marvin Bell, who will just wedge his way into the end zone. That's going to end things for Hoban and the Knights. They will lose this one 20-41 to St. Ed's.
And we got the Woodridge Bulldogs at home for some Friday Night Lights action against the Field Falcons. The Bulldogs, they come out barking, and the rushing attack was on display as a direct snap to Owen Schneider allows the Bulldogs to jump out to a 7-0 lead in this game. And the Dogs, they were in control against the Falcons. Johnny Howard, he had a great game for Woodridge as he finds David Hitchings as he gets wide open for this catch. And the Bulldogs, they're just going for a walk in the dog park in this game. Robert Dixie would break away for this touchdown, and the Bulldogs, their lead, it grows. And then quarterback Johnny Howard, he's just going to take off in this quarterback keeper, and he darts his way to the end zone. The Bulldogs, once again, they score another touchdown. And then Robert Dixie, you think the play is dead here. It looks like he gets tackled, but a superhuman effort by Dixie keeps this play alive. No one's catching him. It was the Dixie and Howard show, and the Bulldogs, they take the Falcons down with a final score of 33-0 in this Friday Night Lights matchup. Then looking at some high school football scores. Highland 63, Copley 0, shutout. Medina 48, Solon 7, Mogador 34, Rootstown 14, Streetsboro with 63, Coventry 35, and then Wadsworth 33, Twinsburg 0. Not a lot of close games in high school football this week.
If we're looking to next week, we're looking towards the first week of playoffs. We've got Wadsworth versus Elyria, McKinley versus Glen Oak, United versus Rootstown, Hudson versus Solon, Mogador versus Southeast, and St. Ed's. They're taking on your Stowe Bulldogs, Matt.
And there was a whole lot of orange in Clemson this past weekend. We will break down Syracuse and Clemson when we come back.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be, with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
And the Iowa Hawkeyes flew into Columbus, Ohio with a date with Ohio State on early Saturday. Let's take it to Ohio Stadium now. Number 2 ranked Ohio State taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Ohio State, they had a 3-0 lead early, but Stroud is hit and it's fumbled. Hawkeyes touchdown as the defense, they get a stop and a score on a very good Ohio State offense. But the Buckeyes offense would then lock in as they marched down, and then Williams would score to reclaim the Buckeyes lead, and we got to give the defense some credit here. They get a stop as Ohio State's Eichenberg gets the pick 6. Buckeyes, they take a 26-10 lead over the Hawkeyes, and Buckeyes in the red zone again, familiar territory for Ohio State, as Stroud throws another touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr., 7 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown for the receiver. And the Buckeyes beginning to destroy the Hawkeyes. This game got ugly. Stroud, he perfectly places another touchdown pass. This one to Emeka Egbuka. Ohio State, they're up 30, and Stroud had 4 touchdowns on the game, and the Buckeyes, they put the cherry on top with 1 more touchdown. Stroud fires to Fleming, who takes it all the way. He walks in for that touchdown, and the Buckeyes, they walk out with an easy W. 54-10 is your final, and the Buckeye defense doesn't give up a touchdown to the Hawkeyes.
Now the Oregon Ducks will be taking on the UCLA Bruins to start off the second. Bo Nix will take the snap and fake the handoff. He feels the pressure, so he'll send this 17 yards out to Terrence Ferguson in the end zone. Oregon up 10-3. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he's going to pitch this over to Keegan Jones, and he's going to turn on the Jets. He tiptoes all the way down the sideline. Take a look at that, folks, and he's going to bring this one in. We're all tied up again at 10. Nix, he's going to fake the handoff once again. Nix is going to wind up, send this one deep to the tune of 49 yards to Troy Franklin. What a throw, and that'll put the Ducks on top. 4th and 4 for the Ducks. Nix is going to toss this one over to Bucky Irving. He's going to leave the Bruin defender in his dust. Oregon will end up extending their lead, 45-23. Robinson and the Bruins, they will not give up. They're trying to make one final push for the Bruins. He's going to hit Jake Bobo, and he'll take off, and he'll make it into the end zone, but it will not be enough. The Ducks, they're going to win this one 45-30, and both teams will end up 6-1.
They host Syracuse in a battle of ranked teams. We go to the second in a tie game. A fake handoff by the Tigers, and the ball is loose. The Syracuse defense gets the scoop and score, and they're going to take it all the way back. Syracuse, they take a 14-7 lead over Clemson. Upset alert potential with a 14 over a 5. Syracuse fans Clemson fans not too happy, and in the Syracuse, they were knocking on the door. Garrett Schrader, he would drop back to pass, couldn't find open receiver, and he takes off, gets it done himself. The Syracuse Orange with a 21-10 lead at the half. and DJ Uwe struggled in this one. He drops back and lobs this one up, and it's overthrown and intercepted. The Clemson Tigers offense, they struggled throughout this whole game, but the Clemson defense, they were able to clamp up in the second half, and the offense was finally able to draw a little closer. The rushing attack with Shipley and Mafo was able to get them back in, and then Clemson star running back Will Shipley, he'd steer the ship back on course and get Clemson back on track, and the Tigers, they reclaimed their lead after an awful first half. And Clemson now, they just needed to stop. The pass defense pressured Schrader, and his pass was intercepted. The Tigers scrape the barrel and get a win, a tough game against the Orange.
Texas Longhorns taking on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Longhorns on offense to start. Bijan Robinson is going to take the handoff. He's going to weave around Cowboys defenders. He's making a miss. He'll turn on the Jets, and he's going to take this to the house to get the Longhorns on the board. Quinn Ewers will be back on offense. He'll complete a quick pass to Robinson, and there is not a single defender in sight. Robinson will have a quick run to the end zone, and Texas will extend their lead over OK State. He's hooking them. First and goal for the Cowboys. Dominic Richardson will take the handoff, and he's going to find a perfect gap in the defense. He's going to run that one in real easy. OK State trails 21-17. Back to the Longhorns. Rashawn Johnson is going to take the handoff. He's going to run straight up the middle. The Cowboys are trying to tackle him, but Johnson, he's just going to keep running. He heads to the house, 52 yards. Texas will take a 31-17 lead. Second and goal. Spencer Sanders takes the snap, drops back, fires it to Brennan Presley in the back of the end zone, and my, oh my, the Cowboys have clawed their way back. Tied in the fourth. Sanders trying to give his Cowboys a lead. He's going to fire it to Bryson Green. Green somehow broke that tackle there, and he's going to make a few more miss, and it's a clear shot to the end zone. OK State takes a lead, 41-34. Quinn Ewers is going to take one more shot downfield, but it'll be picked off by Kendall Davis, and that'll seal it. OK State will win 41-34. Horns down for Texas.
Then we got the TCU Horned Frogs taking on the Kansas State Wildcats. Max Duggan for the Horned Frogs throws this laser to Darius Davis. Touchdown here. He gets away from the entire Kansas State defense. The Horns are out as the Frogs, they jump out to an early lead in this one. Fans are loving it now midway through the first. Wildcat Will Howard will lob one up to Cade Warner. Warner, he makes a spectacular grab and breaks free into the end zone. One of the coolest catches I've seen this season. Great grab by Warner, and then Kansas State again. Upset alert is on as Howard finds Samuel Wheeler for the score. One catch, one touchdown for Wheeler, and the Wildcats, they take a 21-10 lead. And the Wildcats again hand off to Deuce Vaughn, and he will break away. Wildcats stunning number 7 ranked TCU with another touchdown. The Wildcats, they had a 28-10 lead at this point. But before the half ended, Duggan would find his tight end weapon, Jared Wiley, and Wiley's touchdown. It gives TCU a chance, and the Horned Frogs go into the half down, but with momentum. And in the third, the Horned Frogs came out running as running back Miller scores on 4th and 1. Horned Frogs, they're being aggressive in the second half. Gutsy play calling there to go for the touchdown. And they were not afraid of this defense, and they were willing to let it fly. Duggan, he would launch a rocket pass to Quentin Johnston. 2 receivers down there for Duggan, but Johnston, he's the one that makes the play. They retake the lead, in Kansas State, they're struggling to stop the third quarter avalanche, and running back Kendrier Miller sparked this comeback, and he finished it off with one last touchdown run. TCU comes back and wins 38-28 on Miller's 153 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And Liv, the Buckeyes, they're still ranked at number 2. Do you think a win over Penn State on the road can propel this team to the number 1 spot?
I mean, I said it week after week after week after week. Georgia does not deserve this number 1 spot. I don't know how else or what else the Buckeyes have to do. Maybe beat Penn State. Maybe that'll do it. But they have repeatedly won in commanding fashion. I mean, they faltered a little with Notre Dame and sort of this week against Iowa, but Georgia almost lost repeatedly. Honestly, I don't know what else to say. Ohio State has been playing at an elite caliber. C.J. Stroud has been spectacular, and they have, dare I say, the best receiving core in college football. I've said week after week that Ohio will be a number 1 team after this win. This win will do it. But this week, I am the most confident after a win against the Penn State Nittany Lions. They will be number 1. And other than that, I like the rest of the AP.
And Liv, I'm going to have to agree with you there. We have been saying this for weeks now. The Buckeyes, they need to be 1. We expected them to go in and mop the floor with the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Buckeyes looked great after the Hawkeyes touchdown, shutting out that offense. And the Buckeye defense, like I said earlier, they did not give up a single touchdown to that offense. Now, because we expected this blowout win, I didn't expect it to shift the rankings in the Buckeyes' favor, moving them to 1. But I think a dominant win over Penn State should be enough for this team to jump into the 1 spot. They have looked great all year and deserve that number 1 spot, and I think they get it as long as they go up against Penn State and live up to those expectations. And we have Around the NFL coming up, so stay with us. We will be right back to break it all down.
The Agenda, Thursday nights at 9 at campwire.com. Also check out our YouTube at youtube.com/theagendatv2.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Welcome back. The Browns had another AFC North matchup taking on the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Let's see how they did. We've got John Harbaugh, his Baltimore Ravens. They're having a bit of a rough season so far. He's going to hand it off to Gus the Bus Edwards, fresh off IR. He's going to plow his way into the end zone. Ravens are going to jump out to a 13-10 lead. Browns on 3rd and 13. Brissett's going to wind up to throw here, but Campbell, he's going to bring the pressure, and the ball is going to come loose. The Ravens are going to jump on it, and they're going to get excellent field position here. 4th and goal for the Ravens. Lamar, he's going to take the snap, hand it off to Edwards once again. He's going to take this one into the end zone, extend the Ravens lead 20-13. Cleveland back in the red zone, trying to get some points in this 4th quarter. So Brissett's going to go to his trusty running back, Kareem Hunt. Hunt's going to shove his way through the pile, army crawl into that end zone. 2nd and 11, Hill takes the handoff. He's dodging, he's weaving, and he headed straight through the Browns defense, but JOK is going to strip the ball away from him. The Browns, they're going to have a chance to score here. Cade York's going to attempt a 64-yard field goal, but he's going to miss it. He was backed up 5 feet because of a false start call. Rough day for the Browns. 7 seconds to go. Brissett, he's going to try one last time to get the Browns in the end zone. It's a great completion to DPJ, but he fumbles the ball, and that's going to end it. Ravens will win 23-20.
And we go around the NFL. Tua's back, and the Finns, they're taking on the Steelers. Tua in the red zone on 3rd and 3. He's going to scramble out of the pocket and then check down to his running back, Raheem Mostert, who will score to give the Dolphins a 7-0 lead over Pittsburgh. And then late in the first half, the Pickens connection was alive as he makes a spectacular touchdown grab. He gets the feet down. Let's look at that one more time. Just an amazing catch by George Pickens. And then late in the first half, Jason Sanders would convert on a field goal. The Dolphins with a 16-10 lead going into the half, and then no scoring in the second half. Pickett trying to make something happen for the Steelers late, and he's going to throw into the end zone. It's picked, and he finds a way to get the feet down. Dolphins, they go on to win with a final score of 16-10, and they survive a late drive by the Steelers and pick up a must-win for that Miami Dolphins team.
Now to the jungle, the Bengals taking on the Falcons. Joey B had himself a game. He takes the snap here. Burrow will drop back and launch the ball 60 yards all the way down to Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd's going to take it all the way to the end zone. He's going to get the Bengals on the board. Bengals up 14-0. Burrow will once again send it deep, this time to Jamar Chase. He's going to bring it in, and the Bengals are going to have a commanding 21-0 lead. This highlight, it's just all Joe Burrow, people. All day, he will find his man, Jamar Chase. Yet again, bam, another touchdown on the board. This game, it's not even fair at this point. Bengals are going to come away with a 35-17 win over the Falcons.
We go to LA where the Chargers are hosting the Seahawks. Geno Smith in 3rd and 15. Might as well call it 3rd and Geno. He finds Goodwin in the end zone. The Seahawks, they jump out to a 7-0 lead over the Chargers. And the Seahawks, they are marching again. Geno hands it off to Kenneth Walker, who shoots the gap for the score. Seahawks, they take a 14-0 lead, and Walker continues to have a great season. Now the Chargers, they finally get something going on offense. Herbert hands off to Austin Eckler. He will score to put the Chargers on the board. Good overall game for Eckler, and Chargers offense started to roll. Justin Herbert drop back throw. This short pass to Mike Williams, his star receiver. He will score to cut the deficit 2-3. And the Seahawks, they're nursing a slim lead first half, but Geno Smith, he would have heaped one late to Goodwin. Seahawks, they score again, and in the second half, it was all the Seahawks on a halfback toss. Kenneth Walker, he will outrun the entire Chargers defense. The Seahawks, they win, and they continue to surprise the entire NFL. They win this matchup 37-23.
Washington Commanders. Taylor Heineke at QB. He's going to fake the handoff. He'll wind up and send this one 37 yards to Terry McLaurin in the end zone. And Washington will take a 17-14 lead. Aaron Rodgers on offense. He's looking around for an open man. He pumps a few times and finds his man Aaron Jones in the end zone. And now Green Bay, they are only going to trail I too. Now for this last play, I don't know how to describe this one. Rogers, he's going to send this one to Tanyan. He's going to go about 10 yards, get tackled, toss it to Amari Rogers. Rogers is just going to toss that into the ground. It's going to get scooped up, and he'll throw that overhead to Samari Toure. He'll run it laterally, and he's going to miss a wide open shot to the end zone here. He'll toss it right back to Rogers, and Rogers is going to try and throw that to Runyon here, but it'll go through his knees, and that's going to end it. The Commanders will win this one 23-21. What a game.
And Danny Dimes and the Giants on the road in Jacksonville. Giants, another team that is shocking the NFL world. Dimes, he gets things going as he launches one to the veteran receiver, Darius Slayton. He makes this play for the touchdown. And now the Jags offense, they're going to respond. And the Jags offense, ETN starting to turn it up this season as he extends to get this score. Jags tie the game in the first quarter, and it was ETN again on a toss. He gets to the outside and breaks away deep in the Giant territory to set up the Jags in good field position. What a run by Travis Etienne. He's really turning it up this season, like I said. And the Jags will continue to march. It ends with Trevor Lawrence diving into the end zone. The Jags, they take a late lead over the Giants, but in the fourth, the Giants would call on Danny Dimes. 2 quarterback sneak touchdowns in this game by the quarterbacks, and Danny Dimes' touchdown gives them a lead in this back-and-forth game. The Jags, they're trying to make a play late, and they're going to go to their receiver, Christian Kirk. He's pushed back here to the 2, and he's down. It's a game of inches, and the Giants, they survive and pick up yet another win.
Christian McCaffrey's got some new threads on. 49ers taking on the Chiefs. Jimmy G and the Niners are at second and goal. He'll scramble out of the pocket. He's feeling the pressure. He'll fire this pass off to Ray McLeod in the end zone. The Niners, they're going to take a 10-0 lead. Now Mecole Hardman take the handoff from Pat Mahomes. He heads to the sideline, and with a little help from his friends, he's going to take this one 25 yards to the house. Jimmy G dropping back, fires a laser to George Kittle. Happy National Tight Ends Day to him, and thank you from my fantasy team. But Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're inevitable. He's going to fire this one off to Juju Smith-Schuster. Not a single defender is in sight. He's going to go to the 10, to the 5, touchdown. And the Chiefs are going to win this one 44-23.
And Liv, the Browns, they lost a tough game to the Ravens. What were your pros and cons on the game?
Well, let's start with the cons first. The Browns defense cannot stop anything. I'm convinced a Pee-wee team could run over their defense at this rate, but I digress. This defense is consistently blowing coverages and allowing QBs to make ridiculously good plays. Another con, we do not have a consistent kicker in Cade York. He is wildly inconsistent, dare I say. He misses PATs but can make 50-plus yard field goals, or he'll miss the 50-yarder, and then he'll miss a 25-yarder. We cannot count on him, and Stefanski's lack of faith in him is evident. That brings me to Kevin Stefanski. Kevin, the Cleveland Browns are the proud owners of the best running back in all of the NFL. Please, I'm begging, run the ball. Stop forcing Jacoby to take deep shots that we all know he can't make. And when he's forced to make those shots, those end up in interceptions. We all know this. Let him stick to what he's comfortable with. And my biggest con of all, penalties. The refs will hit Cleveland for anything. So clean up on offense and defense. Also, please practice tackling, please. And I've got one pro. It's Nick Chubb. And that's it.
Liv, I have a lot of cons for this Browns team, but I'll start with the one pro I have. I agree with you. Nick Chubb, he still looks amazing regardless with how the rest of this team has been playing. He was just shy of 100 yards, and he did have a touchdown against the Ravens. The Browns' defense is their biggest concern, and the worst part about this season, the Browns have been so close in some of these games. Chargers, missed field goal for the win. Falcons, missed field goal for the win. And the Browns, they had a chance to tie it, and it gets blocked. The special teams has not performed. The defense has not performed. And the only reason the Browns have any positive light is because of Chubb on offense. Hopefully they can figure things out against the Bengals, but I wouldn't count on it against that offense. And then a quick Monday Night Football update for you. The Chicago Bears taking on the New England Patriots. The score is 3-0 Bears in the first quarter. We will see what happens between these two teams. The Patriots are playing both Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi in this game, so we will see how that plays out for New England. And it's time for some Cavs basketball. Newly acquired Donovan Mitchell has been cooking. Here we go to the first. Donovan Mitchell lobs to Dean Wade for the easy score, and that's why they trade for him. Great playmaking ability by Mitchell, finding Wade. Cavs, they have a slim lead at this point in the game, and Mitchell, he was making this Wizards team look silly. He's going to stop and pop this three, splash. Money Mitchell is in the house in Cleveland, and then late in the third, Donovan's only got 5 seconds, weaving his way around Wizards defenders. He's going to rise up at the buzzer, and he knocks it down. Cleveland Mitchell is him, and he can do it all on both sides of the ball. And then here, Donovan Mitchell, he gets the steal. He will go coast to coast for the slam. Mitchell, he cannot be stopped. just carrying this Cavs team, and late in the fourth, Cavs holding onto a slim lead, and Kristaps Porzingis, he knocks down the three, keeping the Wizards alive. He had 18 points on the game, and the Wizards, they need to stop. Ball is in Mitchell's hands, but it is stolen by Will Barton, and he is rewarded for his great defense with an easy two-hand slam, but anybody can do that. And the ball is in the hands of Mitchell. He will rise up for the three, and it is no good. Cavs, Wizards, we have overtime in Cleveland. And in OT, Cleveland was rocking. Mitchell gets the steal, and the Cavs, they are out and running, and it leads to a Cedi Osman and one. Cavs basketball at its finest, and the bench was loving it. All the fans were going crazy, and late in the fourth, Jared Allen in the paint with a punctuation dunk. That seals the W. Cleveland wins with a final score of 117-107 in OT.
What's up, Portage County? I'm resident NBA expert Michael Neenan, and boy am I excited. Why is that? Because the NBA is back. Let's see what's going on around the association. Of course, starting off, we have the Celtics taking on the Orlando Magic in Orlando for their home opener. Of course, who's the first man here? Jason Tatum going coast to coast with a layup. The Blue Devil is cooking this year. Speaking of Blue Devils, Paolo Banchero, the #1 overall pick, gets 8 and 1. Tough for him. But deja vu, Jason Tatum goes coast to coast again for another easy layup. He can't be stopped. He'd have 40 points on the night. Paolo Banchero, he gets a nice little up and under layup there. And in crunch time, Jason Tatum dribbling around. He attempts a step back three, and he hits it to put the Celtics up big. And the Celtics would end up winning 126-120.
And we got the king of LA, LeBron James, taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. We go to the fourth. The King throws one down. Double-double for the King. 22 and 10. But the fourth quarter, it's Dame time. Step back three. You already know the result. One of the best bucket getters in the league. He had 41 on the night, and then late in the fourth, Dame time was in full effect. Blazers, he freezes his defender on a step back. Portland, they take the lead 104-102, and Dame is talking his talk. LeBron, open lane. He ties the game back up for the Lakers. And then late in the fourth, Jeremy Grant is who they call upon. Grant, he gets by LeBron and gets the tough finish. Portland, they take the lead, and we all know who's taking the last shot. LeBron, he gets the inbound pass. Patent turnaround for LeBron. It's no good. The Lakers fall to 0-3 with a final score of 106-104.
Now to New Orleans, taking on the Utah Jazz. Zion, he's going to launch this one from half court. CJ McCollum is going to assist here on the alley-oop. That's going to put the Pelicans up 7. To the fourth we go. Jose Alvarado, he's going to lob it over to Larry Nance Jr. Jr. is going to slam dunk this one over Kelly Olynyk to get the Pelicans within 1 minute to play. CJ McCollum, he's going to launch his three-pointer 25 feet to give the Pelicans a 3-point lead. Other side of the court, Jordan Clarkson gets a shot batted away by McCollum. Markkanen manages to corral it and throws that to Clarkson. Clarkson, no problem with that jumper this time, and we will head to overtime. But in overtime, Clarkson, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to hit that amazing jumper, and with 12 seconds to go, McCollum's going to drive down the court, somehow make this impossible shot to give the Pelicans the lead with mere seconds to go. 6 seconds, in fact. Olynyk will drive to the basket, roll this one off his fingertips, and that's going to give the Jazz a 1-point lead. Pelicans will try to make something happen, launch the half-court shot, but the Jazz will win 121-122 in overtime.
And now the Kings taking on the Warriors in San Fran. Steph Curry, the chef, the defending finals MVP, hits a high arcing three. It goes right through the net. He'd have a pretty big night, too, as he fakes out De'Aaron Fox, goes for the pump fake, and hits another three. Man, he can't be stopped. Man, look at Curry go. He gets a steal. And another three. He was cooking all night, and he had some decent gravity, too. Here, as we see Draymond Green feast, and he hits the dunk. Goes in, and man, he's just looking good tonight. And Andrew Wiggins, he gets the steal, goes in for an easy dunk. The Warriors would win 130-125.
Then we got the LA Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns late in the first. Devin Booker's going to rise up, and he gets this three to go over Paul George. The Suns, they would start to run with this one. Suns, they're having a solid start to the season. And now here comes Kawhi and the Clippers. Leonard, he gets to the rim and scores. And one for Kawhi Leonard. He was 7 for 7 from the stripe in this game, 11 points for Kawhi. And then midway through the third, Booker finds CP3, who pump fakes Paul George, and he will rise up for the mid-range jumper. 7, 8, and 11 for Chris Paul, doing it all for the Suns. And late in the fourth, CP3 on the drive. He's going to kick it out to Devin Booker. He knocks it down. Booker's 35 propels the Suns to a 112-95 lead on the road over the Clippers.
Final game, Heat taking on the Raptors. Jimmy Butler in the Heat. To the third we go. Tyler Harrow, he's going to pass the rock to Butler in the corner, and Butler's going to hit an easy three-pointer. He's going to extend their lead. Caleb Martin's going to snag the rebound, launch this one down the court. Butler, he dodges Trent's block, and he gets an easy layup. 10 seconds to go. Thaddeus Young's going to get the ball with a quick jump. That's another 3 points for the Raptors. 41 seconds left in the game. Butler passes it out to Kyle Lowry, and Lowry is going to body Siakam to bank two. The Heat will win this one 112 to 109.
And so, Mike, now that we're 3 games in the regular season, which team do you think will finish at the top of the Eastern Conference?
Well, Matt, now that we've seen how these teams operate, I feel pretty confident that the 3-0 Boston Celtics will finish with the #1 seed in the East. Being the defending conference champions, I think Boston will finally put it together for a full season as the best team in the league like they did in the second half of last year. If the Celtics can remain consistent, the East might be theirs until further notice.
Well, in that case, where do you think the Cavaliers will finish in the conference?
I don't want to jinx it, Liv, but I think the Cavs are a lock as a top 4 seed in the East. With their acquisition of all-star guard Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz, the Cavs look like they could make some noise this year.
And in that case, who do you think will win the 2023 MVP?
It's hard to say, Matt. I think there are a few players who will be strong contenders. But if I had to put my money on it, I predict Luka Doncic will take home this year's MVP award. He's always putting up numbers, but if Dallas can finish as a top team in the West, I think the voters will have no choice but to give him the award. However, I think Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid will put up great regular seasons as well and are sure to get a few first-place votes themselves.
All right, thank you, Mike. The NHL season started, and Josh Archibald, he's going to deliver the hit to Kasperi Kapanen. He's going to pick that puck up. He's going to dish it back to Jan Rutta. He's going to waste no time. He hammers one past Elvis Merzlikins to cut the Blue Jackets lead 2-1. Look at that shot, folks. Moving on, Danton Heinen creates the turnover, and the puck is going to work its way back to Marcus Pettersson at the point. He gets one on the net, and after a mad scramble, that puck is going to find its way to Danton Heinen, who finishes it off. And that game, we are going to be tied at 2. The Penguins going to force a turnover here after the faceoff, and Brian Dumoulin makes a gorgeous pass to Sidney Crosby. Crosby's going to one-time it by Elvis to give the Penguins a 4-3 lead. Pierre-Olivier Joseph fires a puck towards the net. The rebound, it's sitting in the crease, and Danton Heinen, he's going to fly around from behind the crease, and he finishes it off for his second goal of the night. Look at that. Beautiful. But Jan Rutta, final play here, Jan Rutta clears one to the neutral zone, and Kasperi Kapanen wins the foot race. He's going to put one on the net, and Brock McGinn finishes off the rebound to give the Penguins their 6th goal tonight, and the Penguins will beat the Blue Jackets 6-2-3. What a game.
And we got the Avalanche taking on the Golden Knights. Avalanche on the attack early, and Nathan MacKinnon will take the shot here, and it is good. MacKinnon, he was a pain for the Golden Knights all game. He was able to get 7 shots on goal, and he got this one to go. Let's look at that one more time. He gives his team a 1-0 lead. And then the Golden Knights now looking to respond. Great offense here as Mark Stone will perfectly set up Jonathan Marchessault for the easy chip shot. Golden Knights, they tie the game off this score. And then in this back-and-forth game, Evan Rodriguez, he will break the tie with this shot on the power play. Colorado, they take a 2-1 lead in the second period of this game. Let's look at that one more time. What a shot by Rodriguez there. And early in the third period, Valery Nichushkin would go to work as he does it all on this play, and he would score to give his team a 3-1 lead. Let's look at that sequence one more time. The Golden Knights, they would not be able to stop the Avalanche, and they would go on to win with a final score of 3-2 in this matchup. Good win for the Avalanche.
Finally, we've got the Calgary Flames. They're going to be taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. We start things off. Teuvo Teravainen pokes the puck to Sebastian Aho, who blows by Noah Hannafin. He goes forehand, backhand through the 5-hole of Jacob Markstrom, and the Canes take a 1-0 lead. The puck, it's going to drift over to Richie here in the corner. He's going to throw it at an impossible angle, and that'll score off Antti Ranta's foot, and the Flames will tie things up at 2. Seth Jarvis crashes in the corner. Aho is going to pick up the puck, and there's one in front to Jacob Slavian, who has a great chance here, but he ends up getting robbed by Markstrom. The puck ends up going in, but the officials rule that Teravainen kicked it in, so therefore, no goal. We're going to head to overtime, folks. Now in overtime, Rasmus Andersson races down the right wing here. He's gonna work his way around Aho, sling it over to Tyler Toffoli. He's just waiting for this moment, waiting to slam this one home. The Flames pick up the extra point, and they will win in overtime, 3-2-2.
And the World Series has been set. We will break it down when we return.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
And the Fighting Phillies, they had a chance to close out the San Diego Padres at the bank yesterday. Let's fly to Philly for the NLCS baseball. And when we go to Philadelphia, where the Phillies are looking to close out the Padres, Hoskins, he's going to get things started as he crushes this, and he already knew that one was out of here. Phillies, they score first, batting in 2 runs. Philadelphia, they go wild, and look at that excitement. That's the October baseball feeling. And then we go to the top of the 4th. Padres, they're looking to get on the board, and Soto does just that. He sends one deep center field, silencing this crowd. He delivers, keeping his team alive in this elimination game. Let's look at that one more time. Absolutely just crushed. And he had time to pose for a photo afterward. And then 2-1 game in the top of the 7th. Josh Bell will get a base hit to right field. He gets Jake Cronenworth home to tie the game, and Bell will cap off the action by getting to second. Padres, they have all the momentum, and in the 7th, a wild pitch will open the door for the Padres as Jose Azocar will get home, and Padres, they have a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Bryce Harper up to bat, and he launches this one. Say goodbye to that ball. Harper, he's the hero in Philadelphia as this city, it goes wild. He gives his team a 1-run lead late in this game, and Philly fans, they can feel it. A trip to the World Series as Austin Nola's pop fly, it is caught, and the Phillies, they will go on to the World Series, saying goodbye to the Padres fans with a final score of 4-3 in this game.
To the other side of the division, Game 4 of the ALCS. The Astros are looking to sweep the Yankees. Yankees are looking for a miracle. Only one team has come back from a 3-0 deficit. Lance McCullers Jr. on the bump for the Stros. Giancarlo Stanton, he's going to fire a line drive into right field. Harrison Bader is going to be off and running, and he will score. The Yankees will take their first lead, 1-0. Gleyber Torres is going to hit a bloop out to center. There's some confusion out there, so Anthony Rizzo, he's going to have time to come home. New York leads 2-0. And speaking of Anthony Rizzo, he is up to bat, and he's going to crush that out to left field. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, he's going to come home, and the Yankees will have a commanding 3-0 lead over the Astros. Don't count Houston out yet, though, folks. Jeremy Pena up to bat, and he's going to send this 1 yard, and just like that, we are all tied up. Maybe the wind helped with this one, but hey, either way, it's 3-3 in the Bronx. Harrison Bader is going to say, hey, I can do that too, and he's going to send one deep out to center field, and the Yankees will retake their lead. They're showing more fight in this game than they have the whole series. Top of the 7th, Yordan Alvarez is going to hit a ground ball. It's going to make it through the hole, and Jose Altuve will score. And the Astros will once again tie things up, and in a moment of what I would call poetic justice, Alex Bregman up to bat here. He's going to hit a bloop out to center field. Jeremy Pena will score, and Houston will take the lead. Ryan Presley on the bump for the Stros, looking to close things out, getting Aaron Judge out. ground out on first. That's going to send the Astros to the World Series and the Yankees to the postseason. Start spreading the news. The Houston Astros have a date with the Philadelphia Phillies.
What's up, Portage County? I am Nico Crespo, and I will be discussing the World Series between the National League champion Philadelphia Phillies and the American League champion Houston Astros.
All right, Nico. The Phillies have been red hot this postseason. How well do they match up with the Astros?
I think the Phillies match up really well with the Astros. They have the hitting with Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, Nick Castellanos, and the NLCS MVP Bryce Harper, who is batting .419 in the postseason, to match up with the shutdown pitching the Astros have. Not to mention, the Phillies pitching staff has a combined 3.06 ERA through the postseason. Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola are headlining that pitching staff, with Sir Anthony Dominguez and Jose Alvarado headlining the bullpen.
The Astros have swept their way into the World Series after beating the Mariners and the Yankees. What makes this Astros team so dangerous?
The Astros have been absolutely on fire since the end of the regular season and carried that into the playoffs. The hitters on this team, I mean, come on. Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, Jose Altuve, and the ALCS MVP and Rookie of the Year candidate, Jeremy Pena. They have situational hitting, and no lead is safe when you are facing a team like the Astros. The pitching for the Astros have been lights out. A total team ERA of 1.88, a pitching staff with 5 capable starters headlined by Justin Verlander and Framber Valdez, supported by a bullpen who has been near unhittable with Ryan Stanek and Ryan Presley.
And then final question, Nico, what can viewers expect from this World Series?
Viewers should expect a mix of high-scoring games and pitcher duels. It should be a great series for sure. The Phillies and Astros both have great teams who can both win the Fall Classic, but I just don't see the Phillies winning it. I have the Astros winning the World Series in 6 games. The road atmosphere will be tough for the Astros, especially in the city of Philadelphia. I will predict the Astros will win games 1, 2, 4, and 6. The Astros are just too strong of a team to not beat the Phillies. Matt and Liv, what's your predictions?
All right, I agree, Nico. It's going to be a rough series, but ultimately, I have the Phillies winning in 6. It's going to be a red October, folks. I think the Phillies win their first World Series.
And then for my World Series pick, I might be picking with my heart, but I think the Phillies win in 6. I love the underdog story. The Houston Astros, they have been dominant, but I think the Phillies, they can get the upset in this World Series matchup and close it out in 6 games.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Kiraly. Well, it's official. We've got 2 contenders in the World Series, the Houston Astros in the AL and the Philadelphia Phillies in the NL. Plus, with the NBA season getting in full swing and the NFL and college football still riding it out here in the middle stages of the year, there is a lot of spot here in the Kiraly Countdown, but who will take number 1? Let's find out as we go to the countdown. At number 10, we're starting off with a little sleeper, a team that flew under the radar of an insane sports week, the LSU Tigers. They hosted number 7 Ole Miss and shocked the Rebs by the final of 45-20. Jaden Daniels threw for 248 yards, 2 scores, ran for 121 yards, and 3 scores. LSU is tied with Alabama for first place in the SEC West. At number 9, the Boston Celtics. They ain't a one-hit wonder, folks. 3-0 to start the season, beating the Sixers, the Heat, and the Magic, and that boy right there, Jason Tatum. Good old number 0. He's averaging 21 points a game in his first 3. Boston's definitely a contender. At number 8, let's go to another contender, the Golden State Warriors. On Tuesday night, they rose their 4th banner against the Lakers and took down LA by the final of 123-109. Defending Finals MVP Stephen Curry had 33 points, and the Dubs begin another title defense with an exclamation mark. I mean, just the absolute disrespect. Wide open. You're going to let Curry do that to you? That's the result. Warriors with a big win. At number 7, how about Donovan Mitchell? Number 45 is fitting in quite fine in white and gold. He's averaging 33 points a game through their first 3 to put the Cavs at 2-1 and be a real threat in the Eastern Conference. And look, it's a bit of an overreaction to say that the Cavs are a contender through 3 games, but hey, you never know. At number 6, going with the move off the field on the countdown, Christian McCaffrey, one of the more dangerous running backs in the league, is going to San Francisco to give the Niners a real chance of winning a Super Bowl. McCaffrey is a former first-team All-Pro, and he has elusiveness and speed to make him and the team an absolute weapon. Now we go to the team that traded McCaffrey at 5, the Panthers. Look, we knew the Bucs were struggling, but Carolina did what no one thought could be done and downed Brady and the boys 21-3. The Panthers, who were once regarded as the worst team in the NFL, have a huge upset win and, most importantly, momentum going into next week at Atlanta against the Falcons. Carolina with a big win going to 2-5. At number 4, the Oregon Ducks. Look, College Game Day was in town and they took care of business against UCLA in those beautiful pink uniforms, 45-30, behind a beautiful performance from quarterback Bo Nix. 283 yards to the air and 5 tutties. They take down their former coach on the other side, Chip Kelly, in a big-time win. Number 3, the Houston Astros. They are your American League pennant champs with a clean sweep of the New York Yankees for their 3rd trip to the Fall Classic in the last 6 years. That boy right there, Jeremy Pena, is your ALCS MVP. The young shortstop came up clutch at the plate, going 6-17 with 2 homers and 2 doubles. And Houston's back. The bad boys are back in the World Series. And number 2, feed me the Washington Commanders. Look, no one gave them a snowball's chance in hell to beat the Packers, and they got it done. A signature win for the Dogs in the DMV as Taylor Heineke takes on Aaron Rodgers, I should say. And at numero uno, we're talking about the Fightins. They haven't made the playoffs since 2011 and are going to the World Series. Bryce Harper is the NLCS MVP with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. Phillies are continuing to keep doing the unthinkable. Philadelphia Phillies, you are number 1 on the Kiraly Countdown.
Coming up, we've got our award-winning segments, including our Men on the Silver Mountain. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Danse, balance la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches, au bal du dimanche.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes.
Right?
I mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
Danse, balance la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches, au bal du dimanche.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Corner. It is Sharpest Take Time, and this one, it's a doozy. All right, stick with me, folks. This one, gonna be a little rough. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they're gonna finish first in the East. At the very worst, they will finish top 3. I mean, come on. Something just feels so magical about this year. We have a full and a complete team that works together, and the energy, that can't be matched. I know the East is stacked, but I can easily see this Cavs team continually dominating as the months go on. Now the Bucks and the 76ers, they're gonna be a problem, but this team is young and hungry, and they are ready to play. We've got superstars all over the court, and I truly believe that we will be making a deep playoff run this year. Call me crazy, but this season belongs to the Cavs. The addition of Donovan Mitchell this year has made this team elite, and with Evan Mobley headed towards a breakout season after his Rookie of the Year snub, the future is bright. It's time to let him know.
And for my Mergen Minute this week, let's talk hoops as the NBA is officially back, and I wanted to give you a way too early MVP prediction. I'm picking Joel Embiid. The Sixers, they're primed for a big year. It's been a slow start for the team as a whole, but they will pick it up, and even now, Joel Embiid is still putting up amazing numbers. He's been so close to the award the past 2 years, and some fans are still shocked he didn't win it last year over Jokic. The door is finally open for Joel on this team that should finish top 5 in the East. The dominant center is coming off of a 30-11-4 season, and I expect to see those same numbers again, along with a MVP trophy in his hand at the end of the year. And for my man on the Silver Mountain pick this week, I went with the San Francisco 49ers general manager, John Lynch. He pulled off one of the craziest trades in recent memory, acquiring star running back Christian McCaffrey. Coupling McCaffrey with a run-heavy Kyle Shanahan offense behind that offensive line makes them a serious threat. Defenses still have to worry about star tight end George Kittle as well, and 2 great receivers in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. It didn't work out for them the first week with their newest addition, but that's because they ran into a loaded Kansas City team. But make no mistake about it, the Niners got one of the best running backs in the league behind a stacked offensive line, and this team is a serious threat now, and a lot of the credit goes to John Lynch for making this move.
And my man on the Silver Mountain is Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland's brand new shooting guard who came to the Cavs in a blockbuster trade for the Utah Jazz. I, for one, spent a majority of last season saying the Cavs would be such a powerhouse team if only there were one more player who could consistently score. Well, my prayers have been answered. And Mitchell, in the first 3 games, he put up 31, 32, and 37 points, making him the first Cavs player to score 30-plus points in their first 3 games. He also beat Austin Carr's record for the most points scored in his first 3 games, but he's not just an elite scorer. Mitchell also consistently helps by adding in some rebounds and assists. He's also really stepped up, while Cavs veteran Darius Garland is out with an eye injury. I, for one, am so happy we have Mitchell in Cleveland, and I cannot wait to see him help lead the Cavs to many more spectacular wins and, who's to say, maybe some playoff series.
And thank you for tuning in to this episode of Sports Corner.
Be sure to follow us on social media at TV2KSU Sports for more sports updates in and around Portage County. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Matt Mergen. I hope you all have a great rest of your night.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love
him? People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.